سيفوا معه قرآن.
يا أقصى حنا جينا نحمي مسرانا بينا.
Kita melihat kepada penjajahan bumi Palestin telah sekian lama. Dan kita merasakan penjajahan bumi itu adalah penjajahan yang paling parah dihadapi oleh umat Islam. Tetapi sebenarnya penjajahan itu hanyalah simptom kepada nakbah intelektual yang berlaku pada umat ini. Umat ini haruslah intifadahnya menyeluruh dan bermula dengan intifadah ilmu agar pembebasan Masjidil Aqsa itu menjadi terancang, tersusun dan berlaku secara strategik dan berjaya. Ini semua perlulah kita mulakan dengan diri kita untuk mendalami pengajian-pengajian yang berkaitan dengan hal-hal pembebasan Masjidil Aqsa. Yang mana ia tidak semestinya pengajian sejarah semata-mata, walaupun itulah tunjangnya. Ia kembali juga kepada pengajian Al-Quran dan Hadis. Ia juga kembali kepada pengajian teknologi dan ketenteraan. Ia juga kembali kepada perjalanan diplomatik dan sebagainya. Perjalanan-perjalanan ilmu inilah yang akan akhirnya bersatu dan membebaskan Masjidil Aqsa Mubarak. Kita melihat bagaimana Muhammad Al-Fatih membebaskan Konstantinopel, yang mana ia telah menghasilkan beberapa penemuan-penemuan baru daripada keilmuan ketenteraan, keilmuan strategis, keilmuan kejuruteraan, dan akhirnya terbebaslah kota Konstantinopel yang ditawan sejak sekian lama oleh kekufuran dan kesyirikan kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Qala Allah ta'ala bi kitabihil aziz subhanalladzi asra bi 'abdihi laylan minal masjidil haram ila al masjidil aqsa alladzi باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. Alhamdulillah, bersyukur kita kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala kerana bersama-sama dengan kita pada malam ini iaitu Profesor Dr. Walid Amir, iaitu seorang daripada bekas pensyarah former Dean of the Faculty of Arts Islamic University of Gaza. Alhamdulillah, syukur kepada Allah SWT kerana dengan kesempatan ini kita masih lagi dipanjangkan umur untuk kita terus dan menerus berbakti kepada din Allah SWT dalam erti kata memperjuangkan bumi Palestin. Seperti ayat yang saya bacakan tadi dari surah Al-Isra ayat pertama, bumi Palestin, bumi yang diberkahi. Jadi bumi ini adalah tanggungjawab seluruh umat Islam. Bumi ini menjadi tanggungjawab kita untuk kita perjuangkan hingga ketitisan darah yang terakhir, insyaAllah. Jadi bersama dengan kita pada malam ini, tajuk yang kita akan perbincangkan, kita akan pendengarkan, yang akan dikongsikan ataupun dibahaskan oleh yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Walid Amir, iaitu tentang International Day of Palestine Solidarity. Alhamdulillah, syukur kepada Allah SWT kerana kita diberi kesempatan pada malam ini dalam jangka masa yang terhad ini. Jadi saya tidak mahu membuang banyak masa dan saya terus kepada persoalan yang pertama. Dan soalan ini saya akan tanyakan kepada Profesor dan terus kita akan ada sesi soal jawab lepas tu, insyaAllah. Prof, are you ready? So I want ask you first question. Okay, yes. So this question actually is shared with all the HALUAN colleagues. So the first question is, what is the significance of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People, Resolution 32/40B, which was adopted on 2nd December 1977. So can you share with us, Prof, so what is what you call the International Day is all about? So I invite you to explain to us.
Okay. Thank you very much for this interview, and I am very glad just to be viewed by your viewers. Regarding Palestine, the Holy Land, you know, it is under complete catastrophe nowadays, mainly because of the Israeli occupation, as you know, which was started just in 1948 as a result of the resolution, the United Nations General Assembly resolution of 181. This resolution was the reason, along with Balfour Declaration, for the catastrophe of our Palestinian people, okay? Because it paved the way for creating the so-called Israel on our land. The United Nations played a very, very important role in creating Israel by just issuing this resolution 181. So it seems that the United Nations General Assembly feel atone for this guilt that caused the disastrous situation for the Palestinians. This means that they try to atone for their guilt, for their sin, by creating this day, the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinians. They issued this day in 1977, as you know, and you know, this just to celebrate or to mark this very sad anniversary, the anniversary of Nakba, or you know, the ethnic cleansing war of 1948. So this happens every day, and the United Nations, as you know, General Assembly marks this day by having a ceremony in the United Nations. The persons who are invited to the ceremony are the Secretary General of the United Nations, the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations, and the President of the Security Council as well. So they give traditional talks and call for solidarity with the Palestinian people. But for us, as this day comes, as you know, we need to make use of this day very, very much. This is by just inciting the Palestinian people, first of all, the Arabs and the Muslim Ummah, along with the free world, for just the massacres and the devilish acts done by the Israeli occupation. We need to expose the Israelis internationally. So we call upon the people, the free people all over the world, mainly our Malaysian brothers in Malaysia, which may Allah protect it, inshallah. We call upon you to be with us in this day, and also continually. Your just sharing in this day can be done by having the Palestinian flag raised at the outlets of your houses, and by drawing the Palestinian map on the walls at the streets, and also by taking into the streets in big demonstrations just for support of our Palestinian people, and for calling the international community to stop this scandal done by the devilish Israelis against our people. We are under occupation for about 74 years just now, and Gaza is under siege for about 15 years. And you know, as you visited Gaza, you know that we are under siege, and the situation here is highly deteriorated. The Israelis close all the terminals coming to Gaza, and they prevent all raw materials for the infrastructure done in Gaza. So we, you know, are suffering a lot, but still the people are very standing very steadfastly. They insist to continue fighting and resisting until liberating Palestine, inshallah, and certainly lifting the siege on Gaza. So we need the international community to stand with us, and this day is one mark of their support. We need you as Malaysian brothers and Malaysian people, and the Malaysian government as well, to stand with us and do its best for just, spreading the publicity or exposing the Israeli crimes internationally. So this is why we are stick to this day. Yes.
Okay, Prof. So thank you so much for the question number one. So I think we have received some idea. So why this so-called United Nations General Assembly, the purpose of this assembly to, the policy that made by the UNGA, so-called UNGAs. So then we have to support our, in terms of Palestinian government by, just now you mentioned, to what they call this display of the Palestinian flag. So that because Malaysian and also Muslim in the whole Asia country, so we are strongly support Palestinian freedom, So this is I think we always on the Palestinian side. But okay, we want just a few questions. So this is the question that I received from Malaysian people. So they ask you, so why did the United Nations General Assembly issue the resolution of this Solidarity Day? So do you think this wanted so you have any feedback on this question?
Certainly, yes. The question here is related to the reason why the United Nations General Assembly issued the decision, or this decision, for having this day, the 29th of November, to be the day of international solidarity with the Palestinians. And as I mentioned at the beginning, that the United Nations General Assembly and the state members who signed on the declaration or the resolution number 181, the partition resolution, it seems that they feel guilty for this crime of creating a new state in place of an existing state, our Palestinian state. So they just issued this decision for having this day as International Day for Solidarity with the Palestinians, just to atone for this crime, which they already created. The resolution number 181, the partition resolution, this is illegal and also void, mainly because the United Nations General Assembly does not have the authority to create new states or to abolish the existing state, as you see, to abolish the Palestinian state and to create a new state. This is not her concern. So, this is the beginning of our disaster, our catastrophe. They completely support the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council shared in the crime committed against our Palestinian people. This is by just creating and supporting what is called Israel. So those people just invented this day for the sake of, compensating for their crimes or for their sins. And we take this chance, or we take advantage of this day, just to expose Israel and to spread our the fact of the suffering of the Palestinian people under occupation. We are looking for freedom. We are looking for liberation. We are looking for independence. Okay, we are looking to find ourselves free out of the Israeli occupation. So we make use of this day just to spread the fact and to cancel or to expose the fabrications of the Israeli media, who just make very false propaganda all over the world. In this day, we call upon you as Malaysian brothers, the Malaysian government as well, and all the Arabs and Muslim Ummah
Prof. Oh, stop. Ini direct rakam ke ataupun boleh balik? Macam mana? Oh, terima kasih. Okey, kita mengalami masalah teknikal yang membahagikan Prof. Mungkin boleh. Prof, are you there? Are you listen to us, Prof? Tak nampak kat sini komen. Belum ada lagi kat ruangan chat. Belum ada lagi. Okey, kita fikir dulu.
سيفوا معه قرآن.
يا أقصى حنا جينا نحمي مسرانا بينا.
Kita melihat kepada penjajahan bumi Palestin telah sekian lama. Dan kita merasakan penjajahan bumi itu adalah penjajahan yang paling parah dihadapi oleh umat Islam. Tetapi sebenarnya penjajahan itu hanyalah simptom kepada nakbah intelektual yang berlaku pada umat ini. Umat ini haruslah intifadahnya menyeluruh dan bermula dengan intifadah ilmu agar pembebasan Masjidil Aqsa itu menjadi terancang, tersusun dan berlaku secara strategik dan berjaya. Ini semua perlulah kita mulakan dengan diri kita untuk mendalami pengajian-pengajian yang berkaitan dengan hal-hal pembebasan Masjidil Aqsa. Yang mana ia tidak semestinya pengajian sejarah semata-mata, walaupun itulah tunjangnya. Ia kembali juga kepada pengajian Al-Quran dan Hadis. Ia juga kembali kepada pengajian teknologi dan ketenteraan. Ia juga kembali kepada perjalanan diplomatik dan sebagainya. Perjalanan-perjalanan ilmu inilah yang akan akhirnya bersatu dan membebaskan Masjidil Aqsa Mubarak. Kita melihat bagaimana Muhammad Al-Fatih.
Okay, Prof. Just now we have a technical problem, so can you please share again what you have explained to us just now? Maybe you start back where you stop about the resolution 181.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry for this cut.
No problem.
This is due to the blockade. You know, we have electricity that can be cut from every now and then, as you see. This is one of the marks of the siege which is imposed on Gaza by the Israelis. Every day we can live in darkness for about 8 hours, maybe a day. Coming back to your question regarding the significance of
correct.
And why the General Assembly just issued the decision of marking this day, we say that the United Nations, as we mentioned, just tried to atone for its sin for just issuing the partition resolution 181, which was done in 1947, you know. So this decision or this resolution, along with Balfour's declaration, were behind our catastrophe. These two resolutions were behind creating the so-called Israel. Okay, this entity is behind all crimes committed and all evil which spread all over the world. They are behind all disasters that may happen in Palestine and outside Palestine. So having a day of solidarity just with the Palestinians give us the chance to spread the fact, to let the international community understand the real situation in Palestine and why we are suffering. We, as you know, brother, we are victims, and the Jewish entity, I mean the Zionist entity, is the victimizer. So they victimize us every now and then. Here in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, you know, this state was done by the settlers, and it is used for the thug Israeli settlers at the same time. So you see them defiling Al-Aqsa Mosque every day, nearly every day. They steal the land in the West Bank. They establish settlements there. These are illegal settlements, as you know. They demolish houses. They kill children. They blockade Gaza. So all these crimes can be identified by the international community and the Muslim Ummah, the free world, to know about the real fact of our conflict with the Israelis. We are occupied people, and they are the occupiers. They commit all crimes for just, keeping their entity, their state alive. Okay, we can just free ourselves by the help of our brothers in Malaysia and all the Muslim Ummah, along with the Arabs and the free world. This is by letting the international community understand the fact, and also letting the taxpayers in the Western countries, I mean the States, Britain, France, and the other Western countries, to know about the fact. Those people, I mean the Americans, the British and French, along with others, they are deceived by the propaganda, by the Israeli propaganda. They think that we are the victimizers as Palestinians, and the Israelis are victims. The situation is completely the opposite. We are, as you see, we are suffering, and we need to lift this suffering. This cannot be done by the Palestinians alone. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and Jerusalem is for all Muslims. And we, alhamdulillah, are Muslim people, and we are looking for having clear and strong support by our brothers in the Muslim Ummah and also the free world to stop these crimes on our people. Yes.
Thank you, Prof, for the detailed explanation. I think this on the November 29, observed annually as an International Day for Solidarity with the Palestinian people around the globe. So on this day, 1947, just now you mentioned about the Declaration of Balfour. So the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, adopted the resolution 181-2, which called for an end to the Israeli apartheid by establishing a Jewish state and the Arab state. But in over 70 years of the resolution, the world has only seen the Jewish state precipitate on the world map, while the dream of a separate Arab homeland remains stranded. So this is why Muslim, around the world, we are concerned on the Palestinian homeland. So hope this is that become our the main objective. So that's why we keep on supporting the freedom of Palestinian, because the sacrifice of the homeland. Just now you mentioned about the Palestinian. So we know that since past over 70 years that all the Palestinians struggle to fight with this the occupation by Israel. So now people ask me, so why so important this international community to understand the never-ending crisis in Palestine? So people all over the world say Palestine, the never-ending crisis. So why this happened? So what are the effect when the community unite for the Palestine? So we don't want this. Actually, this is become humanitarian, issue, not only because of Islam and also non-Muslim. So because this is a fight for the humanitarian, fight for the people, fight for the justice. So what do you think, Prof? Maybe you can explain.
Okay, our problem is just the problem of occupied people who are suffering the Israeli occupation for about 70 years, 74 years just now. We do not incite the Muslim Ummah or the Arabs against anyone. Our problem is our need for self-determination, for independence, and this is our right and can be understood very clearly by the international community, by the free world, by all people all around the globe, you see? So we don't just make any sort of racial discrimination or just offend any one in the world, I mean the non-Muslims or Muslims or etc. We call for the independence of our people. We call for lifting the crimes of the Israelis and stop their, terrorism on our Palestinian people. You see the situation in Jerusalem. You see the situation in the West Bank. You see the situation in the land occupied in 1948, ethnic cleansing war against us. We are suffering a lot. You know that we have 5,600 Palestinians who are just in the Israeli jails. You know about the number of children who were kidnapped by the Israelis. You know about the settlers who are used to, or who are accustomed to invading the Palestinian citizens in the West Bank. You know about the theft which is done every day for the land, for the Palestinian land. They dismiss the Palestinian farmers and they take their land. They demolish houses. So the situation is completely unbearable. We cannot afford just living under these circumstances. So we call upon the international community and the free world, including Muslims, to stand with us, just to terminate this criminal occupation which is imposed on us and still in progress, as you know.
All right, Prof. Okay, so as mentioned just now, so it seems like this, the history from the Palestinian, this a struggle of the fight for freedom. So we can see can say that a never-ending struggle for independence for Palestinian people of the denied, and also for the Palestinian rights. Then this international convention or the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant on the Civil and also the Political Rights. So the International Day for Solidarity actually is to provide the world opportunity to reflect the solidarity with the people of Palestine, of the Palestinian people, to raise the awareness of these facts, and they still have not gained their rights, including the right to self-determination as well as to right for the independence. So I think this is the last question for us to ask you and then to seek your opinion. So how do we show our solidarity which will have effects to our brothers and sisters in Palestine? So maybe you want us to what kind of support that we can give instead of donation, instead of just now you mentioned about to raise the flag, to maybe we conduct a campaign, we conduct a talk, a seminar to raise an awareness. So what do you is it can give us the effects to our brothers and sisters in Palestine? So
Okay. The situation here in Palestine is completely or highly deteriorated due to the crimes which are committed every they just against us here as civilians. We are innocent civilians living under occupation. And it is our right just to resist this occupation, either by using grassroots movement, I mean grassroots struggle, or by using all types of struggle. This is our right, which is supported fully by the international community, by the heavenly law. I mean, the religious laws support us as well. So we call upon you as brothers and also upon the free world people all over the world to stand with us and support us. Okay, this support can be done in different ways. You know, first of all, spreading the reality of the suffering of the Palestinian people and blackmailing the Israelis. You know, we need to expose those Israelis and to expose Israel for its crimes. So you can make use of the social media in this specific point. Also, you can support our people by, you know, sponsoring lots of charitable organizations here in Gaza and the West Bank. We have lots of orphans, okay, who just live without their parents, who were murdered during, you know, clashes with the Israelis and due to the attacks and incursions of the terrorist Israeli soldiers and settlers, you know. So we have lots of orphans. These must be or should be shared by our brothers outside Palestine. We need to make use of the Day of Solidarity with Palestine to incite people, to encourage people, citizens in your country and all over the world, to take to the streets in demonstrations calling for the independence and the freedom of the Palestinians. Okay, this is your duty, brother, and also the duty of all Muslims and all people who love and are adherent to freedom, you know. So we are looking to live like you in freedom. We need to live in complete freedom like anyone who is a citizen in any independent state. Okay, we need to let the Americans and the British and even the European and the Western people understand who is the victim and who is the victimizer. We need to let them know about our suffering and to stop paying taxes for the interest of Israel. Okay, they take taxes or they take money for buying air jets, for buying tanks, for buying cannons, for buying rifles, machine guns, just to kill us. We are innocent people. We are under occupation. Our own target is just to lift this occupation and to stop it. If anyone comes to Gaza, I am sure that he will not bear living in Gaza for about 1 week, mainly because of the situation under the siege. Here, the situation now is deteriorated, has been deteriorated severely. You visited Gaza in 2005, you said, and now we are in 2021. The situation is highly deteriorated, mainly because of the restricting siege on Gaza. We cannot go abroad. We cannot receive anyone from outside Gaza. We are in need of lots of things, and our people are suffering. So we call upon the international community, the Muslim Ummah, the Arabs, and all the free world to save us from the crimes of the Israelis.
Yes, Prof. Because this 29th of November 2020 is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. So
Yes.
we Muslim from Malaysia, we stand with together with the Palestinian people, so to support this solidarity.
Certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly.
Yeah. Then we hope that we can together with all of Muslim around the world can pray perform a salah in Masjid Al-Aqsa one day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I would like to, maybe I want to give you an opportunity for the last, what do you call this, maybe you have something to share with us in the last word. So I give you, maybe you have a few minutes to explain. So so you please.
Okay. So my word to the Malaysian brothers, first of all, we appreciate your support, we appreciate your assistance, and your good stance with the Palestinian, with us as Palestinian people. For the international community, we call upon you to expose Israel and to spread the real fact about the suffering of the Palestinians, to spread the real publicity about the situation, and to expose Israel and to reject its false propaganda, to reject its fabrications. This is an occupying entity or country, and we are looking to get rid of this occupation. Israel was established at the expense of the Palestinian people. It was established on Palestine, our country, okay, under, illegal resolutions like the resolution number 181, okay, issued by the United Nations General Assembly in 1947. And we still have other resolutions which stand for, or which were issued for the interest of the Israelis. We are looking for the conscience of the international community to wake up and to compensate, or to atone for all the sins the international community committed against us. Okay? This is only by knowing the fact, supporting Palestinians, stopping terrorizing us. I mean, stopping the Israelis from terrorizing us. We are freedom fighters. We are not terrorists. Terrorism is created in what's so-called Israel. Okay? So for Britain, we also call upon Britain to stop its crimes. It is the reason for our disaster, our catastrophe, and still stand in favor of the Israelis. The terrorism is created in what's so-called Israel, and the Israelis are the real terrorists all over the world. We Palestinians are victims, okay? So we call upon the British people not to obey or follow their government for having these, illegal and, unjust decisions made against our resistance here in Palestine. Okay? That's it, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Walid Amir. I think this is very good sharing session from direct representative from Gaza, and we are very proud of you, Prof. Dr. Walid Amir. So we hope that this platform will, we have some ideas, we have some, knowledge about this solidarity because Palestinian freedom. So we hope that we can, separate this information that you're sharing just now to all Malaysian people, Muslim people around the world, and then we hope that we can, take this, all the important point that you shared just now, and then we will communicate. I think the Palestine, what do you call this, fight for your homeland, fight for the freedom of the Palestinian. I think this is a global issue, not only the Palestinian people. Actually, it's a global issue. Become, because the BAITUL MAQDIS is all belong to Muslim in the world. Belong to all Muslim in the world, not only for Palestine. Yeah, not only for the Palestinian. So BAITUL MAQDIS is the Holy Land. Yeah, so we hope that we can, one day that we will have a second Salahuddin Al-Ayyubi to, to release or to, you know, to what you call, to get back this our holy land from this occupation from Israel. I think
Sure.
maybe you have another thing to share with us. So how about the
Yes.
situation over there today? So how about the situation nowadays?
The situation here in Gaza is quite, deteriorating situation, mainly
Okay.
because of the lack of lots of materials here, and also the restrictions imposed on the people to travel outside Gaza. So we have lots of problems here. Our people are prevented from finding good jobs. For feeding their families. We have lots of people who are idle, unemployed. The percentage of unemployment reached more than 70% here in Gaza, and the situation, is quite painful. This is due to the crimes of the Israelis, the siege which is still imposed on us. I wonder where is the position and the attitude of the United Nations General Assembly, which issued the resolution number 181 for creating Israel. This is the bad result of its, resolution. So where is the Security Council? Where are the free countries all over the world? We have crime, continuous crime occurring every minute. Who could dare to say to the Israelis, enough is enough? We need to stop these crimes. So it is you as Muslims, you as people of the free world, to say your word. Here, life is highly complicated, but we are still living dignifyingly in our country. We are living steadfastly, and we will never surrender. Our hope is to liberate our country, to liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque, to liberate Al-Quds, BAITUL MAQDIS, And for this, we are ready to sacrifice up to the last drop of our blood. That's it.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So thank you for this night sharing session together with the Prof. Dr. Walid. So I'm Muhammad Akhir bin Ahmad, representative from HALUAN, Jamiat HALUAN in Malaysia. So would like to take this opportunity to wish all the best to all the Palestinian and all our Muslim in the world for this fight for freedom. I think because the whole life of us Muslim, we should take this. The Palestine is our homeland. It's all Muslim in the world homeland, not only for Palestinian people. So this fight never ending until we'll can perform salah in the Masjid Al-Aqsa. So we want to take back Palestine from this. We want to get the freedom of Palestine from this occupation from Israel, inshallah, one day. So I hope that will be these all Muslim all over the world will support us, inshallah. So I think that thank you for your time to share with us about this international solidarity for the Palestinian people 2030. So I think that this will be the annual event for us, and also we try to take this opportunity to spread the message to all Malaysian. So why we fight for freedom, actually Palestine homeland, so they have the right to fight, because Palestine is a freedom country, not belong to Israel. It's a Muslim country. So I hope that this sharing session will all the Malaysian people will have some idea about what is a Palestine all about. So I think that's all for tonight. And thank you so much, Jazakallah khairan kathira, to Professor Dr. Wali Amir. So now I'm waiting for, maybe we have any question. Coordinator, mungkin boleh ada soalan, boleh ni type dekat ruangan chat. Any question, please? You can type in a chat box so I can read the question. I can straight away because I will read your question to Professor Dr. Walid. Any questions? So I welcome any question, please. Ada. So Prof, as of now, so we don't have any question to you. So I hope that this will be a good starting for us to have some ideas about the international solidarity of the Palestinian people, and hopefully this will be the annual event. And then, of course, the fight, the Palestinian freedom, fighting for freedom, so never ending. So we will continue support, stand with Palestine until the end of our life. So we will fight
Okay,
until the last drop of the blood, same as you mentioned just.
Yes.
Hopefully that we can meet again, inshallah. So
Inshallah.
I think our sharing until here, our discussion. So maybe we can meet. So hopefully you can pray. You can you please maybe you can recite some dua for us for
Yes,
Malaysia.
inshallah.
You know, because recently we are facing the pandemic, COVID-19, and also I believe this disaster is all around the world. So hopefully we hope the dua from Palestinian people, and the same also we also
May Allah
yeah.
protect your country as well.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
very much.
Okay, Prof. So I think that's all for tonight. Thank you, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.